Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to NinjaTrader Live. My name is Jim Cagnina, and we are joined by Shy Girl in Naples, Florida. Shy, how are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good today. I'm pumped up being Patriots Day and on a Monday.
Fantastic. Well, let's get right to some hot commodities. Let's talk about, the big one, obviously, the mover today is gold. Um, you know, we've talked about this one before. There's really, at this point, with all the uncertainty, it's not a market you really want to get in front of. And I know, because I've been looking at X, everybody wants to short this market, which is actually pushing it higher because all the shorts are getting stopped out. But realistically speaking, if you look at the COT report, positioning is not overweighted. We've talked about that it's just been recently when we've seen ETF flows just this year. So this market already made a big move on the back of central bank buying and other uncertainties by some institutional players, but we really haven't seen retail jump on this market until recently. So again, we had Trump come out over the weekend. He wants to fire Powell. He was tweeting about it incessantly today again, or posting on True Social. And that is just propelling this market higher. So what extensions you got up there?
Yeah, I mean, again, I had to redo my fib extensions. That's really the only thing I have to go on from a target point of view. Next stop up is 34.63. That's at that 138.2% extension. After that, 35.05, that's at 150%. So those are targets. They're loose targets because it's an extension instead of based on anything else. But the other thing to keep in mind on a daily chart is the slow stochastics. Yeah, it's over 80. It's in theory it's overbought, but two things need to happen in my mind before I'm even thinking about hitting that sell button. One is the that orange that percent K crosses below the blue line, and we are in a sub 80 state. We can stay elevated like this for a long period of time, but I want to see that cross happen to the downside before I get too overly excited. Intraday, we had a $98.40 low to high move, mostly up today. As you can see, we're still trading though right within that initial balance. We never really deviated from that initial balance after this huge overnight rally that we saw happen on very low volume, by the way. This is a weird day where we have the low volume big moves, but we'll see what tomorrow brings on gold.
Yeah, and we have to a lot of the other markets are closed today for Easter Monday. So you had Europe closed, you have Canada closed. So there's a lot of institutional money is not in the market. You can sort of see this in the indices as well as far as volume is concerned. But let's move to copper. Now, copper was interesting because copper was actually up overnight. It has since pulled back, but odd market to be up if we're heading into a global recession, right? Called Dr. Copper for a reason. It's sort of the barometer of the economic health of the global world, and we were up overnight, and we've just now started to see some selling, but this market is kind of contradictory to what else is happening elsewhere. Partially, it is because of demand, right? Because we still have demand. There's news out of China. China's copper demand is still growing because of their EV usage. So what they're not using in manufacturing and home building, they are using in EV manufacturing. So the demand is still there, and we don't have enough supply, basically.
Well, that looks like this chart then. We do have a doji forming today, right above that 50% retracement, approximately 4.7179 right now. We are above all of my key EMAs. the 8, the 21, and the 50. And we have a nice, this is a relatively orderly rally over the last 5 or 6 days, which is interesting. There's not a really big knee-jerk reaction. When you see these smaller candles moving in the same direction for a longer period of time, I call that orderly. And we've already had our crossover on the fast stochastics. So we'll see if we can kind of keep it moving here to the upside. On an intraday, and let me shoot over to the intraday. This is kind of we're back to where we started from this morning. Again, that big rally overnight. We did an opening initial balance breakout to the downside, never looked back. And right now we're trading, we're above that zero DTE gamma wall and call resistance. Kind of was sticky right there. And we're just kind of, I don't know if we're going to retrace back up or not today. It looks like we're probably done for the day. But back to where we started, and that's what you see when you see a doji on a daily candle.
And then let's take a look at a currency. I wanted to look at 6J because it's kind of a barometer of risk. So generally, when we see the yen strengthen, we're seeing money come out of risk assets because of the carry trade. And this market looks, pretty strong. We opened a gap up again on the day overnight, and then shot up overnight and then kind of gone sideways since then. But I mean, to me, this market still looks strong.
Yeah, I mean it's looking similar to gold almost, but it's all the moving averages in this case are going straight up. Again, I had to rely on a fib extension. We have a target at spot 0071759, and that's that 100% level. There's more levels above here, but that's at least the next thing we could try to achieve. And we have that again, that stochastics. It's still overbought, but there's no crosses. We could stay up in this overbought, plus 80 state for a long period of time. So until again we see that cross under and we get back under 80, I'm not going to be too enthusiastic about hitting the sell button. From an intraday chart point of view, a really textbook perfect large case P distribution. P is in Paul distribution, with obviously way at the top is where the bulk of the volume is. And again, we've been trading right in that initial balance all day. That rally happened early, which isn't surprising, given there's two parts of this equation, right? There's the yen part, and then there's the U.S. part. The yen part picked up right away, and then got us to equilibrium pretty early around midnight. And we kind of stayed sideways here. We didn't even spend time above the initial balance in the London session. So right now we're at right above that Jax 3 level and on the yen, and I think we're going to settle probably pretty close to where we're at right now.
And not that Japan manipulates their currency, but I know they're negotiating with the Trump administration right now on trade, and they would like obviously to see a lot stronger yen. So definitely keep an eye on that because it could be part of negotiating tactics. And then for the last one, got to look at Bitcoin.
Uh-oh, the Bitcoin.
We
Let's
had, the Bitcoin. So, Bitcoin's kind of gone the opposite way of indices today. And we talked about this morning with Anthony on, is it correlated to tech? Is it correlated to gold? What kind of asset is it? We talked about it a lot because it seems like the correlation's kind of gone in and out between being opposite of gold and then with the indices. And we're talking about how to define this. Is it a risk asset? Is it, is it a commodity? Is it a currency? So what are you saying on the Bitcoin side? Are we going to finally kind of break above this area that we've been in, sideways market for quite a while, which is unusual for Bitcoin because it does tend to make a lot bigger moves?
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, we are off the mat a little bit. If you're thinking this double bottom-ish area here around 76,000, 77,000, we've come a long way from there, but we are bumping up against a keen area of resistance right now, or pretty close to 89,000. I'm going to round up a couple ticks. It's really 88,755. We wick to it today, and sellers kind of brought us right back down to that 50 EMA. So I'm not ready to say, hey, I'm buying this is going to be a huge rally here. This is going to continue. We're going to break out through. We have work to do still. And until we get a body of a candle that's closed above the top of my rectangle, we're talking 90,000 plus. I'm not so sure. We're just not going to keep going sideways for a while here. On an intraday chart, um, the top of the initial balance was as good as it got, and then we kind of sold off since then and didn't achieve any milestones above that. Volume profile in this market's never really good, so we're going to blow that off. But R2 is a really nice area of support. We hit it a few times actually. If you go all the way back to 720 to 730 candle, and then again around 1 o'clock ish, and then again a third time. So that Jack's 2 level is right next to that R2 level, which is the daily pivot at around 86,800, 86,800. That is, I always want to say 8,600, 86,000. So right now, that's where we're at on the Bitcoin. And as a result of where we're at now, you could see that this is where that wick is at the top. But we'll see how it goes, Tracy, on the Bitcoin.
On the Bitcoin. Excellent. Well, thank you very much. And I will leave you for now, and I will be in the chat. So thanks.
Thank you, Tracy. All right. It's time for the OrderFlow Labs, fellas. Good afternoon, guys. How are you?
Good afternoon, Jim. How's it
Hey,
going?
Jim.
Pretty good. I had a real quick question for you, Leo. Nick did double duty today. Does he get does he get overtime or triple time maybe?
I don't. He didn't ask, so I guess not.
I guess I'll just continue being poor. It's okay.
I heard about your tax bill. It's an unfortunate situation.
I mean, that's the life of a trader, man. It is
Nick,
what
with
it is.
friends with friends like us, you're never poor.
That's very true.
Mm,
But we do have
Uh,
streamer boy is back, everybody.
streamer boy,
We missed you on Wednesday.
you did?
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
You
Of
were
course.
very well,
If
very
you're
much
not here, we miss you. I miss you on Saturday and Sunday too, but
Oh,
Streamer boy,
Anyway.
we need you.
all right. So you guys are going to trade the close. Are you in any positions or anything yet?
yeah. I'm actually I'm trading ES today. Promised that I would be trading ES next time I came back, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm in a long right now from 51.32 and a quarter. A little bit of a late day fade, I think we're seeing. So I'm just going to try to ride this. I think the trade is to just wait and see what happens.
All right. All right. Well, you guys do your thing. I'm going to sit back, take notes as usual, and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
I can't help but notice that you longed off the big round number spread of SPX 5100, Leo.
Yeah, well,
The bounce-
I was in my sophisticated trading with all that stuff. What I do is I go when I trade ES, I pull up the XPS stuff and I start trading those levels. So yeah, you're exactly right. That's why I got in.
I know that's not why you got in, but I was sitting there. Some days you kind of just, you have to laugh or like kick yourself. I'm like, I took some paper cuts trying to long this too early today. And then you see it bounce off a big round number like that. And I'm like, is it really that simple sometimes? And can it be that stupid and that dumb? And sometimes the answer is yes. And today potentially is a situation where that long may have worked out. We'll see.
Well, that 51.50 bounce was pretty hard too. I mean, it ran for 25 points.
It did. I did take that one, got some money back, and been sitting on my hands since.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't set up a ton of this chart book yet, but so don't judge me for the lack of things going on. But I've got a volume profile, I've got the delta profile. Those are two key things for me. And then delta map, I'm not sure if this is quite dialed in yet, but that's what we're running. And then just standard MGI. So I mean, clearly we have a downtrend. There's single prints. So for me, I don't really love fading markets that have single prints, but it just looked like we were trying to bottom out here, and that's just based on, you know, the buying that came into these lows with some decent wicks. And there was one spot, I don't remember, I got in late, and that's fine. Like, you want if you're gonna fade a move, you kind of want to do get in late. You want to see that buyer, you know, come in, or the buying come into the market. And so that's kind of the entry. You know, so just took a stab at it, not trying to get cute, but, you know, just learning again how to trade ES, because it's been a few years for me, and I'm learning that you just sit and watch your trade for hours. Is that how
Yeah.
it works, Nick?
I mean, with the exception of the last few weeks, I know that this is exactly what happened, though. You came in, you built a chart book for ES, and naturally, this is one of the slowest trend days down I think I've ever seen.
Mm.
So tinfoil hat time, is it Leo's fault? I kind of blamed the lack of volatility on myself this morning, if you caught the morning show here on NinjaTrader Live, but knowing shortly thereafter I got off the air that Leo had built an ES chart book, I think I can now shift the blame to him potentially for killing volatility.
You can't blame me for anything. That's not
I'm
true.
going to blame you.
No.
You trade ES, and now ES is trading like how it used to trade. So I guess I have to go back to NQ.
So it's just ES is back to normal.
Mhm.
Yes, I really am ES Leo. Now that it's my Twitter handle is ESF Leo, and I'm trading ES now, so deal with it. Stay is on a 6-day win streak. That's amazing.
I feel like I
Nick,
have not been that consistent lately.
Nick, let's talk about that, because that actually, I'm curious, like how you know, if I get too hot, I feel like there's eventually like a pretty big down day coming if I don't mind my P's and Q's.
I
So
feel
is
like
that
that.
something that you kind of messes with you from a mindset standpoint? Like, oh, you've had 5 good green days in a row. You're just waiting for your F up.
Mhm. It's usually one of those days where I mean, you'll blow it, and then not only will you blow it, you may hit a personal daily loss. You may even snowball below that too if you're not very disciplined. And I've had those days coming off a good couple weeks. Like I think, you know, my true live brokerage account, I think my longest winning streak is like 12 days, and then
Mhm.
I spiraled. Like after I took a small loss, and then the following day, you're like trying to get it back, trying to, you know, start being consistent again, and then you just start snowballing. So it is definitely something I have battled at times. When I'm a super consistent trader, I'm usually very good about taking the wins, calling it a session, and moving forward. But then when I'm not able to do that, like I know historically for me, my red days is usually like my first trade of the day is a miss. And then I can easily start snowballing, chasing, trying to get back to break even, trying to close out green. So it is definitely, it's first of all, it's super difficult just to be consistent enough to string together a few green days, but then, you know, trying to keep that momentum going is like almost impossible. What about you?
Yeah, I think I get into my own mind sometimes, you know, I just kind of make up a red day on my own because I've had 5 or 6 green days, and yeah, just totally fumble, you know, either just get too aggressive in the morning, or, you know, some days where it's just like you just can't get, you know, on the right side of a move, like for for I mean, it's just like no matter what you do, you just can't seem to get a good trade going.
Mm-hmm.
Those days are usually my worst days because that just brings the tendency in me to try to force a trade and not just let it come to me. And that's where I get, you know, kind of run over.
Yeah, for me, it's always like when I'm hot, like if I've had a few good days in a row, a good week, whatever. I think 6 days is probably a good consistent number that I can hit. Me getting like consistently over 10 is a anomaly here and there, but like I can string together a solid like trading week with no red days. It's always then that next missed trade that starts the day red that is just I just struggle to kind of bounce back and not snowball it into just a bad day.
Yeah.
Like take a small red day after a good streak and like walking away and saying, you know what, I just clearly I'm not seeing something right before then it snowballs. So that's something I still need to mature at in my trading.
Mhm. Nick, how do you trade ES? Can you teach me?
Yeah, you let your stop there, you go crack a beer or go grab some lunch and you come back, it's either hit or you're the trade.
Um,
That's about
AJ
it.
always says that ES respects the LVNs much more drastically than NQ. Is that true?
I think it does tend to lean into MGI a little more.
Hmm.
It doesn't wick through them the way NQ does, where you could still long an LVN, but then get wicked out on a
Hmm.
20.1 minute candle in some theory. It does tend to abide by those levels, more and more, and they can be something stupid like big round numbers, like you basically saw in the early part of today's session where 5150s was holding. Um, or it can be respecting, SPX or SPY levels, like almost to a T, those big round numbers. So I
Yeah.
don't know why it does. It just kind of tends to a little more.
Low volume node is LVN would be a low volume node. So like right here is a low volume node. And so we can see we had a break of this area, then that created this distribution. So every time we have tested this low volume node, it's been resistance. So that's kind of how it's supposed to act. And then there's a little one right here at 34 that is holding a support, and you can kind of see why from a price action standpoint. But yeah, I don't even know if this trade, if I should expect this trade to work or not, if I should just flatten it out.
I mean, it kind of did. You almost got 20 points there.
Yeah, no, I was just waiting. I don't know.
No, I
Norseman
was
wants a new
watching.
low day.
I saw your chart before we came in. I thought we would go wick up a little higher towards 52s to 55s before maybe
Hmm.
this would come in, and they kind of front ran that.
Hmm. Who's in the short trade in the chat? I want to know your name.
Yeah, has anyone just
I
been
want to know
riding the
my
short from the
competition.
open?
To give previous days LVNs more importance? Yeah, I mean, they're a reference point. Um, I think that's good to my take on LVNs from other time frames, being not today, is if you follow the same process on your higher time frame volume profiles, then that's going to give you the best results, right? So I know that some people use like last week's profile and that's it, or they'll use last week's and the last 30 days. So my point is just to use the same process and the same time frame volume profile to mark those out. And that is going to give you the best gauge for what you're looking at. Dude, Nick, they're all short against me.
Buyers are absolutely worthless today. I'm just going to say it.
I know. So
Like
are you calling me worthless?
I mean, I've tried to long this so many times today, so I guess I'm worthless too. But my word, like I didn't even get. I guess the push up to 75s on ES was the one shortable pop that we really got today. Everything else, you pretty much had to just close your eyes and sell it.
Yeah, you got this one here at 52.10. That looks like a decent one.
Yeah, that was my long that
And
I
not
got wicked out on.
51.75.
And then we came back and that reoffered. But yeah, it was outside of that, there really was not NQ had a decent reoffer at previous week low early in the session that you could have jumped on, but I was still kind of just waiting for things to settle in. I wasn't ready to jump in the first 5-10 minutes.
Yeah. MNQ is pukey. Fatfish says. Ryan's gonna long my stop. Well, Ryan, if we get down there, you never know. Maybe I'll move it. I'll move it just to spite you. Nick, are you trading?
Not currently. I'm not in a trade. Maybe try one off 27s if it holds, or if we wick below it and come back in.
I actually do like the idea of running this low and then finding a bid. But yeah, it's a really tough trade. Leo's trading ES. What kind of universe? That's right. Um, I made a big mistake of telling the chat I would trade ES today, the next time I was on stream, and so here we are. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you have a trend day down, you're at the near the lows. There's not great price action. It's low volume. So it's just a meat grinder to the downside. It's
Yeah, I
very,
feel like I've been
very difficult.
I mean, I did the morning session today, but I feel like I've just been staring, waiting for something to pick up or something to happen. And I guess that should have been a sign I probably shouldn't have traded too much today. But of course I over traded and I'm lucky I'm scratch and red in a couple small accounts.
Mm-hmm. The best thing for me on a day like today, unless I'm part of that short that happened, from the break, is to just sit out and watch.
Yeah, when
Hardest
I've been
kind of
trying to
day.
long and we broke below last week's low and it was kind of that consolidation week. I mean, I guess I should have been looking short once we did finally break it and we broke initial balance. Like there was probably no reason to be long yet, but for some reason I just could not shake myself out of that today.
Yeah, I've been there too. I mean, you just kind of get tunnel vision. You want to trade one, you get stuck in one direction.
Yep.
Hey, you know what? I might come back and trade CL, coach. You never know.
Big crude guy.
Big time crude guy. Crude runs in my family's blood. Let's see. Somebody asked a question about the indicators. Oh, this is just a volume profile over here. So this tells you the volume traded at each price. So that's not special or anything. And then this is basically the same thing, but it's just measuring delta. So if you took the total volume and then you did the ask volume, so the transactions done on the ask minus the transactions done on the bid, that gives you the delta of that volume. So we use this information from the order flow to tell us like who's dominant at that area, right? And so that's where the delta comes into play. What is your tick aggregation for NQ? I don't for NQ I don't use tick aggregation at all. I do for my delta profile. I think it's like 8 ticks. But for the volume profile, I don't do any tick combining. Oh man. Nick, do you have any ideas for a trade?
I mean, it would just be that long, break a new low, come back in and get long.
Yeah. Well, we have 3
I'll stop
minutes
you out.
till L period. If you have the Ninja lifetime subscription, I'm not sure if the Ninja, I think they have they don't have the leg to leg, and I'm not sure that you can get the numbers in the bars like this, but they have, you can get like a delta profile for sure. Stowe is dropping more lies and misinformation. I am not a micro gold scalper. That's not true. Is it okay to ask when the next painting the tape? That's a great question. When will the next podcast episode be dropped?
I
Great
guess
question.
the bigger question is the last episode or was this the
I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out. Okay, so CVD, yes, cumulative volume delta, running on the oscillator. So I know that people use that, and I'm not going to knock the usage of it, but I'll tell you why I like this. This tells you where the delta is happening at what price levels. So right now, I can see about 600 were sold into the bid at 51.30. And when price is going sideways and we have tons of delta building up, that tells me that what's happening underneath the hood, if we were watching the DOM, we would see bids being reloaded and we would see sellers hitting the tape, hitting those bids. But if you have sellers hitting the bid and the bid keeps refreshing and they keep coming back in at the same spot, that tells you, you know, a little bit of information about those those bids coming in. When you have a cumulative delta as an oscillator, one, you have to remove your focus from the price and what's happening at price and look down there and try to make some assumptions about what's going on. And so I just like to have this type of view where it's a little more precise and you get that real-time information. Leo played David Hasselhoff. Whoa. If we get over, look, there's like 40 likes here. This is unacceptable. Nobody's getting a hat with 40 likes.
Sugar Boy is upset.
I tell you what, if you guys get us to 200 likes today, I will place orders for hats and we'll figure out a way to get hats to people if you want them.
And trust me, I'll go full influencer mode if you want me to.
Do it, Kane. Do it.
Oh, they did not sweep that low.
They did not. And I'm still in the trade.
I wanted to long, Leo, stop.
Everybody wants the hat. I'm telling you, it's a banger. The ghost of Kane. Where is Kane? Is he here?
I didn't
Raising
see him
Cane.
this morning.
No changes coming to the Ninja platform because of the Kraken acquisition. No changes. Leo, I will add. Get black hats. Oh, do we want ninja hats, like black ninja hats? Versace. All right, well, here's what you're seeing right now is we came and tested that low and buyers came in.
Mm-hmm.
Can see it right on the delta foot, just on this actually takes information from the footprint so you don't have to stare at it, right? So it takes the relevant information from a footprint chart and just tells you what's going on. And so, with this and this combined, it's really powerful. Dark mode hats. I love it. Buyers at the low also want black hats. That's right. I'll work on it. You got to get 200 likes. There's 150. See, this is and here's the other thing. Stowe said we're going to start doing some giveaways. Who wants giveaways? Clothing is coming. Yeah, who doesn't want giveaways? We're going to work on some of that too. We're going to give away Nick's. One of Nick's hats gets given away every show because he has 30,000 hats.
There's a ton. If you didn't know, haven't noticed that before.
How many 5,000? I won't go there. We should give away a specific hat that you probably have.
They can. I mean,
the 5K mark hat. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, you want a 5K hat? Oh man,
you want it.
Who doesn't want that hat?
I still haven't gotten mine.
It's just gonna randomly show up
one day. Yeah.
I can't give you my cowboy hat. That one was hard earned. Trading lean hogs.
You were supposed to be in a cowboy hat today. What are you doing?
Well, I decided on no hat for my first appearance on the morning show.
Yeah.
Figured that was the right path.
Market makers, head of security, a ninja. I'm not reading all that, but I hope it works out for you. No offense. I can't sign anything. I'm not famous.
You're a streamer boy. You're famous.
No, no hat, no vol. Man,
Maybe that's what it was.
yeah, that's sick. I like that saying. Bonds flushed.
I'm really wondering why I didn't long this, but I was waiting for you to get stopped out.
That's cruel. That's really cruel.
I just wanted to long the big round number.
Will we always stay subscription based or buy them in the future? I mean, the work that goes into what we do on a week to week basis, it's crazy. I don't think it would be sustainable if it wasn't. We have, 4 developers. There's 3 of us that, actively contribute to the community. We do no more than that, 4 to 6 hours of time spent, office hours, helping set up charts. I mean, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. It's
Yeah,
not just about, indicators.
there's so many updates and help and things. Yeah, it's just constantly evolving too.
Do you stream like this in the OFL Discord? We're streaming on Monday mornings, the open, and we're streaming twice on, let's see, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Or we have 2 streams Tuesday, Thursday that are different. Some of it is, talking through the market and taking some trades. Other parts of it are, reviewing, being able to ask questions, breaking down what happened, going through trade feedback and trade review. A little bit like more in depth. No, it's not on YouTube. It's all in Discord or on Zoom. We did trade. We were on YouTube for a little while, but it's so much work. You guys don't even understand the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes for the directing crew. Like even here at NinjaTrader, they do an incredible job with all the transitions and making sure everything's up and running. I mean, Nick has a spot that he can only sit in. He's not allowed to move. It's marked with tape on the, he has a very specific place his chair can be in.
It really is true if you didn't know that. And I have a lot of monitors. I like to move around, so I have to like force my ADD brain just to focus on staying in one spot.
Con is short here. I don't hate that short. I don't hate it at all. Do they at least feed and water you guys?
I haven't eaten today.
Yeah.
So, Leo, I need a snack.
I had some leftover brisket for lunch.
I'm jealous.
Do you know I cooked a brisket yesterday for Easter and it was the worst brisket that I've cooked ever.
Like taste wise or
No,
just
it tasted fine. Like it tasted great. It was just a little
the
tough.
texture?
It was a little tough in some spots, and I mean, granted, it was our fault. It was probably my fault,
You
to be
started it
honest.
late, didn't you?
I started a little late.
Yep.
It
It's always late.
it took too long to cook, and so by the time it was done, my wife was ready to eat, and so we didn't get to rest it at all.
Yeah, that happens every once in a while with when I'm doing it for a large group of people, and it's just not quite coming to temperature fast enough, and you're not raising the temperature in theory, and you don't get that good long rest period, and then it's still good. I mean, it's hard to if you kind of know what you're doing, it's hard to screw up a brisket, but
Yeah.
it's still the rest is so key.
All right. Well, we have like 40 minutes into this close, and I don't really know that I have a trade here other than the trade that I'm in and just waiting for a good spot to take profit. I was really hoping we got above this LVN into these 5160s
Mm-hmm.
to take maybe try to grab like a 20, I don't know. Yeah, it'd be a 30-point move. Up into this upper distribution. So that's really what I'm holding out for. otherwise, like this is a great spot to take profit. 8 to 10 point trade in ES feels like a 40-point trade in NQ. I don't know. Is that about right?
30-point trade in ES?
Oh, like a 10-point trade in ES is
Yeah.
worth like a 30-point trade in NQ.
Yeah, that's usually how I trade it. Is I scalp it the same way I think of NQ, which is if I can get 20 to 40 points, I'm very happy. ES 10 to 15 points, very happy.
Yeah. Norseman just posted a great swing setup in the OFL channel. I'm not gonna plug more OFL. I don't want you guys to get tired of us talking about what we do. Can you register an OFL Discord without? Yes, you can. You can. There's a Discord only membership that's super cheap. You get full access, and then you get also access to a stream for ES and NQ that runs 24 hours a day. So you're able to watch and kind of get a feel for the information we're displaying. Because it's a little bit different from, price action or, support and resistance or, whatever that might, like those different strategies. It is a lot different. So yeah, it does take time to learn, some of these concepts.
Really curious if they're going to pop this and go make that run towards 60s
That'd be nice.
or 52s at the very least.
I
That
think I
elbow
really
move,
should
I think, won.
trade more ES, and I'll tell you why. I'm realizing right now, just sitting here in this trade for the last, seems like hours, that I haven't done anything else other than just sit in this trade. And NQ, I would probably have taken 3 trades if I was trading NQ right now.
Probably.
So maybe it will help me be a better trader by not over trading. Leo wants to trade ES instead of full moon. Yes. Where do you find access to the Discord? Just go to orderflowlabs.com and you'll see a Discord only tab. And that has details about getting signed up there. On the cusp of signing up, just unsure how we'll be able to use the tools and how much support will be there if we have questions. Nick.
Oh God, I knew you were going to do that. So I can answer that one, I guess, as somebody that was still learning how to trade when I started becoming friends with Leo and playing around with the tools. He and his team have built so much educational content, not only on the tools itself, but just basic concepts that they revolve around, in addition to setting it up for all of the various major chart books or charting software rather that exists out there in the space. They've taken a ton of time to record videos that, for lack of a better word, are pretty idiot proof. And then beyond that, there are so many helpful people in that Discord that will offer their time to get you set up, get you squared away, help you understand things as they print, as they happen throughout the auction every day. So there is such a large learning community embedded in OFL as it is. So you will never be alone with these tools.
You're making me want to sign up.
I
That was
mean,
full on
I'm
influencer type of
I'm
stuff there.
kind of an idiot and I figured it out. So I'll leave that there.
You heard it from Nick. Man, I do want to cover this trade here. I don't know, but I definitely have the itch to just cover this and be done. But
Because you've been in it for so long.
yeah, I mean, we're either going to stay in here in this distribution or we're going to pop it and come up here. What's my take profit? It's up here to like 5160. This big volume node. So right now we have 2 distributions. And I can zoom out real quick. I'm not a NinjaTrader professional, but I can manage most of the times. Okay, so if we have, this is the opening range. So we have pretty large liquidation from the open that has this B-shaped profile look to it. And so all the volume being down here, basically without being able to extend this lower, tells us a little bit of information about the day, that there's potentially some passive buying down here. And so that's one piece of information to take away from today's session, is there's potential. It's not always the case, but there's potentially, you know, some passive type of accumulation, if you will, into these lows, and sellers not being able to break these lows and continue to run this thing. You know, it tells us there might be a passive buyer down here. But yeah, so for my trade, I'm really just looking for this end of day to pop through this little LVN into this distribution up here, and just see if we can't close up into this larger this volume profile up here, this part of the distribution, because we have one distribution here, we have another distribution right here, and you know, usually, not every time, but more often than not, when we come into an end of day situation like this, where we're trading at the lows, we tend to drift a little bit higher. And so we have this other distribution. I'm just betting, not betting. I'm just kind of, that's my target, is this the other side of this distribution, or the middle of this distribution right here.
Yeah, I wish I was long.
Nick is FOMOing so hard.
I know. I really did think when that negative delta came in and it looked like it was, I mean, it was back at your entry, that they
Yeah.
were going to run these lows. That's all I was looking for. It's just like, hey, can we run it and maybe show me that we're not just going to waterfall down into oblivion? And then I would be happy at least taking that long.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to chase, because I could, same thing. I could see us going up a little higher towards 50, potentially reoffering there in the LVN that you see on the screen. So
I don't love
yeah,
this. Why not put your stop and profit? I should actually. I'll put it just a tick in front of it, because really, if we come back, you know, we have a low, we retested it, it held. If we come back again, I don't want to be in this trade anymore. So I'll just move it, you know, to 33. Just put it, you know, so I'd cover the commission of the trade, because the market knows when you move your stop. That's true. Don't they know, Nick?
yeah, I moved my stop at like 11 o'clock today when I was in a trade. And of course it got tagged. If I just left it at break even, I could have held that trade all the way to 75s, which I think was that little short-term high that we put in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, I took that first long off the 50s.
The volume is fake at the bottom right. It's fake volume. Market maker's phone is ringing right now. I know a few market makers are, you know, like legitimate market making people on Twitter. I always get scared when they like a tweet that I put out there. Makes me
We're watching
nervous.
your levels.
They're watching my levels. I'm sure they could care less about my levels or my ideas.
I'm sure they're going to tune in on Sunday nights to watch my levels
Oh, when is that coming?
this Sunday.
This Sunday.
Yep. April 27th. Yes. The 27th will be the debut of our Sunday programming.
What's it going to be called?
I don't know. I do not know the name of the segment just yet. I will leave that up to the folks that are better marketers than I am. So
I thought we had a name.
we did, but I don't, that is not necessarily what we're going to use, I think, for this. So
Chat, we got to vote.
they are calling it the Sunday Open, Leo.
Can we get a little more creative, chat? Can we go ticks with Nick on, or what was it? Sunday night ticks with Nick? Sunday ticks with Nick?
It was Sunday. I think we were R&Ding Sunday ticks.
Sunday ticks. Yeah, see, SEO. Damon knows what's up. Sunday ticks with Nick. Nick at night.
Joe.
Sunday ticks. Sunday night ticks.
God, I'm mad I'm not long.
Dude, Nick is FOMOing. He's just over here FOMOing right now so
You know,
hard.
One of those
Nick, just
things,
buy
man,
it.
I'm not gonna buy it now. I mean, if it does, I don't know how do you define risk to the downside? 5 points?
Yeah. You just have to pick a random number.
Exactly, which I don't want to do. When you've been kind of chopped up today and you're lucky to kind of get out break even, but then the easiest trade of the day potentially happens during power hour on like a simple low off a big round number, and you were waiting for Leo to get stopped out to then do it. Yeah, a little FOMO here today.
Damon's gonna short against the LVN and duel against me. Good luck.
It's a fair trade.
I do like the short against 5150. I mean, it's not a bad.
Just technically makes perfect sense of a trade that you should probably take with the momentum to the downside all day, with buyers doing absolutely nothing.
We need some more likes, folks. 12 more.
Yeah, I think Leo said 300, and he buys everybody in the chat that hit the thumbs up a new
That's
hat.
fake. That's false information. These are recorded, Nick. Do you know
mean,
that?
you said something about hats for everybody.
That's fake.
I don't remember the context.
Fake.
I just heard something with hats. Leo's doing something with hats, maybe potentially putting in a larger order that everyone can actually then go purchase. But we don't get to do that regardless of what he did or did not say, unless you hit the thumbs up button.
Here, I'll tell you what, Nick. We'll do it, but you have to do the shipping.
I mean, I'll find you someone that'll outsource it, but they won't be your fancy hats.
No, can't do that.
I don't need a pallet of hats in my house. I got enough boxes from between my wife and the newborn.
Trading ticks with Nick.
All right, so hit 52.
Sunday ticks.
Punch air. You gonna cover?
I'm watching it. Gapping down with Nick.
That's funny.
That's funny. Next day shipping and free, right? You want free next day shipping too?
Yeah. This is the Amazon generation, sir.
Yeah. One click checkout too.
Yeah, it gets there before 5 p.m. Same day.
$216 likes. All right. That means I've got to get serious on the hat business.
I thought it was 300.
I
I don't
Did I
remember.
say three? I thought I said 200.
Maybe you said 2.
I said 200 and I would start ordering hats.
For everyone.
No, I didn't say I was paying for hats. I said I would order them.
I mean, we're hitting 550 viewers here today. Clearly, everybody wants a free hat.
They're not getting free hats. They're $40 hats, Nick. I'm not doing that.
I cannot believe I'm not long right now. Oh, I want to punch air.
I told you to get long 5 points ago, and you didn't listen.
I'm just hate watching this now.
This is the first time Nick's had true FOMO, and I felt it.
This is real FOMO, guys. I have not had a bad day by any means. I just haven't had a great day. Even a good day. Just a very mediocre, kind of wish I didn't waste the mental capital today.
Yeah.
Type day.
Oh, brother.
Does the OrderFlow Labs Prime subscription get free 2-day shipping of the hat? When OFL Plus. I love that no one has been unique at all the streaming subscription services. Everyone is Plus or Prime or just something like that. Max.
Yeah. What would you do? Different name.
It's a good question. I'd probably just come up with something unique and not put plus in front of it.
Like super.
Well, just like you kind of just like everything like Disney Plus, Hulu, Walmart Plus, like I would just try to probably create something unique, I guess, from a branding standpoint. But
550 viewers is a new record
is it?
for the streamer boys.
I mean, the eyeballs are coming here. Everyone knows the afternoon session with us is where you hang out, you get your brisket tips, you get plenty of good trading talk, and potentially the opportunity to buy an OFL hat eventually. Not for free, because apparently we can't do that.
Ultra Labs, like that.
OFL Giga Chat edition.
That's funny. Dinner and streamer boys. Did he say brisket tips?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
he
get brisket
did.
tips. You learn why resting's important after Leo's Easter brisket.
Yeah. I don't know what to do here, man. We're getting some selling into these 20s. You know what I love about ES right now? Just sitting here is that we've traded. Well, now it's kind of moving, but I had at least 3 minutes to decide if I was going to sell this, cover this trade or not. In NQ, you don't get that. You have to decide like very much real time.
100%.
Because we came up here, we got some selling. They started to push it, sell it some more. We're in this spot. What do we think, chat? Cover this trade and take profit, or let it run?
I mean, if we
Low
lose
day,
this year,
low day is not in. XY, do you want to bet on that?
maybe I should just short it so that we can see.
Let it run. They say let it run. I'm gonna let it run. XY learned the tough way. Don't bet against Leo.
Or do all those late shorts cover if we get another move up?
Puke it up.
Yeah.
Could be.
All that volume there on the lows.
Always fade the chat. That's a great point. That's a great point.
Well, I didn't get filled on my short of 52s, so the FOMO continues.
Well,
43s. I don't know.
oh, you're gonna get long 43?
No, I'm well, maybe.
Huh.
No,
The 4 p.m. We have a guess the close. 4 p.m. 51:38. I don't like that number.
51.38.
Don't like that number. It's literally just like 2 points below point of control.
Yeah. That
We
would
ran
be,
the stat, Leo. What's the stat on it? Give me the stat. See money, take money.
I mean, I probably covered there because that's, I don't know.
All right, guys. I'm going to cover this trade. We're a 15-point move. My first time trading ES in 3 years. We're streaming live. Why is it that when I trade the most boring market in the world, you guys you show up? I'm out.
And he's out.
Woohoo! That was a good one. When Stowe exits his trades, he gets like a grand applause. I just get a woo.
Yeah, Stowe gets golf claps.
Okay.
Did you catch Stowe's segment this morning?
Part of it. Yeah. He had a nice short into the lows
He did.
that continued to run. Internals are terrible.
Yeah, Mag 7's getting killed today.
Trend down, bad internals. The thing that's throwing me off is the number, just the volatility. I mean, it's just dead.
Yeah, we have
Job,
a
when
big
are you
board
getting
is-
on the Ninja stream? Well, maybe he'll answer. Don't put him on the spot.
Buyers trying again.
So I've actually noticed that something I want to run with the quant is this was brought up in OFL chat too, is just like a general question, and all I could give is my guess. When we have a really wide initial balance, compared to like historical averages, we tend to trade inside of that initial balance, basically, chop around and stay in that range. When we have a really tight initial balance, we tend to break away from it pretty hard and kind of move. That's something that you would agree with generally as a trader.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I thought we were going to get a bit today, but we just continued to move lower once we did break Ivy low. We held it for like the first little pop, and then that just got sold. That was that 52.11 on ES area.
Yeah.
We just sold right off of that, broke initial balance, and then it was the slowest demise of the indices I've seen in a long while. No pops to really sell. Hard to find entries unless you got short early. I don't know. I struggled with a little bit with today's price action. I mean, maybe because I was trying to trade ES all day. It just felt like the slowest car crash imaginable.
It's like trading a slug.
I mean, it kind of was, but it's been moving the last few weeks. It's just today, and obviously the lower volume with parts of last week with the holiday. But
yeah. Well, so we have PPI on Wednesday? PMI?
probably
PMI on Wednesday? There's more Fed speakers this week than
There's
I
a
have
ton.
toes.
And we got the kickoff of Mag 7 earnings, I believe, Alphabet and Tesla this
Oh,
week.
didn't Netflix go last week?
Mm-hmm.
On Thursday? Yeah. Nothing really happened, but I feel like the Netflix chart was a pretty hard pump.
Yeah, not a lot of movement. I couldn't tell if it was just because the market was going to be closed shortly thereafter, but there was not a ton. And we got Fed's beige book on Wednesday as well.
Nice. Who's reporting this week, Nick?
Tesla and Google would be the two big ones.
Wednesday? Thursday?
One is Thursday. I think one is Wednesday. Got to double check.
Do you ever listen to those conference calls? Like
I
when
used
Elon
to.
I used to listen to the Elon calls just for the fun.
They're kind of just comedy at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, every once in a while I will listen to it. When I was working in that world, I would listen to a lot of them. Like I would listen to competitors, just more so to hear their cloud story, things they were talking about. But now I really don't care enough to, I guess, outside of the comedic side and just the trader side of me.
Yeah. Tesla has a special announcement.
Oh God. Well, Tesla's trading at 225, down 7% today almost. So I'm sure it's going to be something revolutionary, I would imagine.
I sensed, and tell
tongue
me
in
if
cheek.
I'm wrong, Nick, that was a bit of sarcasm.
Just a little bit. Maybe a little overpromise, underdeliver message coming, I would imagine. But hey, we'll see. I've never been the biggest bull on Tesla, but at least based on the valuation, it has been since the initial stock splits pre-COVID. So who knows, man? What do I know? I could be very rich at this point if I just shut up and longed it a long time ago.
Yeah, right?
But
Sometimes you just got to be dumb and
press the
buy
buy
it.
button. Like I should have done on these lows.
Well, I'm sorry, but your greed and your ego got in the way of your trade. You wanted me to get stopped out.
This is very fair. You probably would have gotten back in anyway.
I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm doing here with ES.
You're just flying blind. It's going to go to 60s and hit your target.
Mm.
This has just been a mess of a session. We're down 3%. It just doesn't feel like that, does it?
I don't no, not really. I mean, when you look at the chart, it does, because like look how
You see
much
it
I have
trending
to
down, yeah.
compress this thing to see the open.
It's the velocity. That's really
Just
why it doesn't feel that way.
It's just a waterfall. Like, look at this pop.
But there
Yeah.
hasn't been that like big violent flush in NQ that just kind of scares the crap out of you that you would normally see in like a 3% down day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a slow car crash. What time frame do you use for analysis? For intraday, I typically use volume charts. And again, I haven't traded ES in 3 years, so I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm currently on a 1500 volume chart.
Here comes 60, Leo.
Yeah, I mean, and there's, I'm happy with my take profit. I'll take a successful ES trade and be happy about that. Nick called that slow car crash feel from the start this morning, and it was definitely prophetic.
I did. And you know, it's funny. I think that's probably why I was a little long biased off the open. Just, you were feeling like waiting, like any big buy volume that kind of came in, and it never came.
Sell this thing.
But any larger buyer that came in, we were going to be able to, retrace majority of it. But there's no, outside of this here into the close, like this is the only time I've really seen some decent buying coming in.
I just had a scalp short while you were talking. I just saw this vertical pop with this exhaustion marker and right into this top of this whole thing is now just basically a big piece of volume distribution. So we came right to the top of it, and I just wanted to fade that. It looks like it's just kind of a silly pop. I'm not looking for a big trade here. I probably should have covered on that last little push. Where's my?
Are they going to push it up to the VWAP?
The VWAP. 3-point stop. I'll leave it. I would have preferred to just cover right here, but let's see if I get it again. It didn't really feel like there was a lot of interest there when we pushed up the second time.
No.
They're lifting right now. I need to get a time and sales running because it's a lot easier.
Hmm.
Man, I feel like I'm winning 3-point trade. Yeah, look at, they're doing so much lifting right here.
Like that little pop was what I was looking for every time I tried to long today. I don't take it when it happens.
Yeah, I'm going to get out of this.
Yeah, the VWAP's up towards 75s from the RTH VWAP.
Just take the 2 points. I'm new at this game, this ES game.
Yeah, you just stay in your trade and
Well, the
put
thing
your feet on
is
the desk, you relax.
it was a short, very like short time frame trade, and then I saw this offer lifting right here at the 60s. Very aggressive buying into that 60, and so it was good cover. Cup and handle has been mentioned, maybe setting up. Looks like a mini fractal cup and handle. You're actually right. Little poor weak low with a little pullback and then moon. That is an old news that pattern failed. I'm not sure what you meant. I'm waiting for RTH VWAP to sell it. I know that you said New York VWAP, but I reject calling it New York anything.
It is the RTH VWAP. That's always how I called it. The 24-hour, which would be the
where
Globex
are
VWAP
my argument for this is where are the exchanges? Where do the exchanges
on
sit?
Central Time. Our lovely friends in
Correct.
Chicago.
So really, it should be called the Chicago VWAP if you wanted to give it a name of a city. Can you talk about how you saw them lifting the offers? Are they continuing to hit above? Okay, so do you see where it says 488 right here? Right here at 5160. When I got into that short and we were testing this area, it went from 200 to 300 to 375 to then like 480. And so that tells me that we're pushing down off of this swing and buyers are just like, they lift right here on just this micro pullback. It just tells me that there's buyers present. And so, being short in a very like kind of scalpy move, I didn't want to stay in that trade. The Merc WAP. There we go.
Jose Trade says, man, I can see the FOMO on Nick's face.
I feel
no
it
idea,
over
sir.
here.
No idea. After being chopped up all day, just trying to make things happen that weren't happening, then you get a decent trade. And I kind of was looking for a spite entry on Leo's, so that's on me.
Oh, we got to my target at 5160. Too bad I didn't hold it. But I got a nice little, 3-point scalp.
That's why we live to trade for tomorrow.
Yeah. Job is feeling it down in the plums.
I mean, NQ with the casual 150-point move off that low.
Nice.
Do you wish you were trading
Not
NQ?
getting rewarded. You know what? I'm going to be happy that I'm trading ES. It's very calm. I've taken 2 trades. I think you could watch for a potential short above. If we snap above 5170 again,
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe. You're seeing looks like some absorption up here in the 60s.
I'd want to see this little ledge get popped and then see if sellers defend up here. There's the pop.
And Q closing in
There's a
on.
little bit of selling right here.
Yep, there it is.
Really need to get a time and sales up and running. All right, we'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot just for the power hour. Oh, 5 minutes to the algo. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
It looks like I'm gonna get stopped out anyway. 3-point stop. I don't really want to see us get above any of this little ledge here. So I'm fine with my stopping at 69. Oh, a little delta flip here. I like to see that. Our buyers are just going to come back in. Okay.
This guy.
Whatever. All right, I got it stopped. Five minutes till the 50 bot. I've always called it the 50 bot. Do you call it the 50 bot, Nick?
The 50 algo MOC.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to call it.
Did they really just run my stop? Is that the whole point of that move?
And
They
you
were
were talking about the
directly
market
coming
makers
after me.
earlier.
Yeah. I mean, look at it go now.
Just wait till they watch my levels on Sunday nights.
Oh. What are you looking at on the time and sales besides speed? Are you marking buy and sell waves? I'm just looking for aggression. If we get, like, we got up to this spot here at 5170s and you saw that selling come in, I just want to see what that's doing like on the smaller time frame. Like, you know, those little 1 and 2 lots can tell you a lot when they're coming in with speed. But literally, I just got stopped out and now they're going to run.
Now it's going to waterfall.
Fantastic. Is there a black car parked outside? Let me go check. I'm going to go check. I need to see it.
Yeah, the amount of times trading ES, I feel like I just need to take the trade, leave the stop, and literally just shut down my computer. Like the stop's on it. Stop's there. But just shut it down, not even watch. And just let the take profit get hit.
No black car. I wouldn't want.
No black car outside.
Ever combine same side and type? No, I don't. They took Leo. They almost did.
No, the van comes later, guys. Don't worry.
Is that where I learn all the market secrets?
I thought they took you at one point.
Oh, we can't tell that story in live.
I'm trying to make humor out of this lackluster session for me after missing that long.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you know it? We have like 550 people watching, and you know, we get the worst market day to trade.
I mean, but the best trade of the day outside of the initial short was right now.
Yeah.
And we were on it.
Yeah. Nick,
Leo was on it.
Nick,
I FOMO hate watched it.
There you go. Where can this run to? I wonder. Man. Still think a fail back in here somewhere. Doesn't, I mean, I guess we can continue to run. A little bit of selling coming in.
The Chicago VWAP is 5 points higher.
Chicago VWAP.
NQ is there right now.
Oh, there's the 50.
And there's the algo. God, even the 50 algo is boring.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, we need a sound effect for that. MOC. There we go. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Yes, coming into the RTH VWAP at 74s. I just have no desire to short this now. Because this is what we were talking about last week, where I get into more trouble after missing the move, my initial idea of the move,
Yeah.
and then the move plays out. And then I spend consolidation, let's say in the 70s and 60s here, trying to short it when my initial read was, I guess, long it for one of the distributions higher for something like VWAP for the initial balance low, whatever is kind of ahead of me to the north side.
Right.
Granted, we're running out of time here, but I don't really want to step in front of this, given we are 3% down on the day and people could start covering too. I want to throw my chair.
Throwing a chair has been mentioned. I need you to go to the UPS in Arlington.
I don't want to be kidnapped. Why am I going to Arlington at a random UPS?
I need a important shipment.
That
hats.
I don't believe now. I can't even believe that it's hats.
Oh, look at that. We almost got 300 likes. Chad, we can do 300 likes is like 35 away.
And Leo will open up the hat store for 300 likes.
False.
The hat store. I'm not saying you're sending hats. If we get 300 likes, I will sign my OFL hat. And eventually we will raffle it off in some sort of contest that we'll figure out.
Can you write on the hat? Don't make me go full streamer mode, Nick.
I will probably do something of that sorts. So 297. If you get over 300, we will eventually raffle off my OFL hat, signed and statement written. And I will personally send it to you.
Did you hear that? That was impressive.
I didn't hear that one.
If Nick signs, can we get a discount?
I don't control the discounts. But you can ask nicely.
Need Nick to draw a wick getting hit under the OrderFlow logo.
Yeah, it would be like my my long from this morning.
Dang.
I'm gonna do a stop below low of the day. Low of the day gets wicked by 1 tick, stops me out, moves up 20 points higher.
Yeah, I think the best play is just to watch this thing. Watch it bring it into the close.
Leo,
one day soon we will go for 9,000. 9,000 what? firmament. 9,000 likes. That would be wild.
Or NQ 9000.
NQ 9,000?
I'm just kidding. I don't even know what would that take us back to. Like
Nick,
post 2008 or something.
do you know how hard the Bears would be
If we got to 9,000,
in
that's gotta be
NQ?
like is that the COVID low? Like that's got to be something, right? Let's see.
Oh, 9,000 is an old, it must be an old NinjaTrader reference.
Oh, okay. The
There
COVID
goes the
low
80s.
on this contract currently is like 880, 8,800. Excuse me.
Free international shipping. Yeah, sure. Why not?
I'm not responsible if it gets lost in customs somewhere.
Personally delivered by Nick.
Definitely not. If you didn't know this about me, I don't love traveling as it is. I never did for work. So me jumping on a plane overseas for a non-vacation is probably not going to happen.
A wick, here comes the Nick. Oh, that's good. That's really good.
The last time we were at 9,000 NQ, I had hair. Oh my God, I cannot believe we just ran to 84s, 85s.
I think speaking of wicks and things, we need to wake up. Jim.
That literally might have been like the most painless 50-point move I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, what did I do? I covered that thing for 20 points and it ran another 20.
Didn't you cover that thing in the 40s? And we're now
Down here.
40 points higher?
Right, like right here, 51.
Gosh, yeah, we went
Yeah,
back
it ran
down D
another
basically.
30 points.
NQ is
Five-year
inside
AI.
the initial bounce.
That's crazy. Jim cannot FOMO if napping. That's true.
I don't want to say it, but you know I'm unhappy.
So
Can
you
we get
you could have FOMO in your dreams, I think.
Can you?
I think so.
Okay.
They're called nightmares.
I hate those things because little kids don't like them, and we have to deal with that. But my son came in the other day and he's like, I had a bad dream. I can't remember what he called it. He called it something different than a bad dream, and then he said it was a nightmare. But then he was like, it's okay though.
My bad dreams are always about like losing my dogs, if that makes any sense. I don't know why.
Like
But it always
losing
is
them, like they run away.
Well, no, like someone tries to take them. Like it's just weird things. It's always what it is.
Mm. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and mine are, I forgot to put a stop in, and I got to wake up and go check. And I had it in it, but so it was a waste of a wake up.
We really did just rip 60 points, 62.
Great hold for me. Really nailed that. Jim, do you swing trade at all in the futures markets?
I've been known to in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only time I have nightmares is if I put a trade on like late at night and like before Europe opens. Because it's really hard to like, I'm not a swing trader, right? But if you put a position on for 4 or 5 hours, it's more of a positional trade. And so it's like I've never really gotten the stop placement right. Because I always feel like euro, no matter what I do, the euro, the crazy euros come and take my stops, and then it runs.
Yeah. You have to be liberal sometimes with your stops.
Oh, okay.
So, but that's a whole conversation we could have about. I mean, literally, you could create if you have a decent size account, you can create a diversified portfolio of commodity futures.
Yeah. What do you think about us trading CL, Jim? Or gold?
Well, CL and gold, I'm super fans of both of those markets. That would be awesome. I would be all over that.
Is there enough price action in the late afternoon session to get some good trades on?
I would say gold more likely than crude, although I defer to Tracy on crude. Crude has a settlement that's early, and I guess
Yeah, it's
gold
like
does
a
too.
130, 230 settlement. And
Yeah,
crude, yeah.
but gold does too. But gold keeps kind of track of everything else because it's Here we go.
I mean, the
There's the
volatility
bell.
was saved for the last 30 seconds there as ES
A
decided to kind
10
of do
point,
range
a
bound,
10
like
point
10
rotation.
points twice in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I was like Liberation Day all over again.
Well, we got to thank the chat for showing up. I mean,
They
record
did.
numbers,
New
and
record.
300 likes. That's great. Nick, do the influencer. Thank you.
Thank you all for hanging out with us here on Trade the Close with your favorite folks from OrderFlow Labs. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for all being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hitting thumbs up. If you have not hit like and subscribe, please do that before we jump off here. It does help us. It helps out the stream. And I can't wait to see you all tuning in on Sunday nights for the Sunday Open with Nick for a Tick, myself, helping you guys get prepped and organized for your trading week.
We're going to call it Sunday Ticks with Nick.
Whatever you guys want to call it. I'm good with whatever. I'm just going off what the YouTube chat said.
So there was like professional level streamer boy signing off right there. That was pretty impressive.
He's a pro streamer.
I've done
boy.
this a few times, I guess.
Absolutely. Oh my. All right, fellas, listen, appreciate your time today as usual. Looking forward to seeing you guys later in the week. You're back on Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Very, very awesome. All right, that was it, folks. Thanks for being here, part of the stream. Also, I do want to kind of pop up one quick chart before we wrap it up for the session, the low vol session, which is a holiday in Europe, apparently. We're on the wrong side of the pond, gentlemen.
Always.
So this was a crazy. I got a 30-minute chart, nothing fancy. I just have a session VWAP up on the screen, and look where we rallied all the way up to. Someone once told me technical analysis is not voodoo, and it's not. I mean, we rallied all the way up to that VWAP line. This is the session VWAP starting last night, but look at that. We wicked right through it. We couldn't close above it. We stopped at it, and now we're trading right below it. Which is the other thing that was interesting is the wick is right at that 38.1% retracement. So. This is textbook retracement back up as we're seeing it on the close at 1.1 million contracts traded in the E-mini S&P. I never trust low volume days at all. I don't know how you guys feel about low volume days.
Yeah, it's always a tougher trade. Jim, did we touch that?
I just hate
Globex VWAP at all today, or just the one off the open?
The line I'm showing here is for the session, meaning it started at Globex on the open last night and it ran all day long. That's that white line.
So the 24-hour. Yeah.
Yeah. Did we touch it during RTH? Really? Looks like no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the one time? No, I meant like before we touched at the close.
Yeah, once. It looks like one time.
Oh, yeah. And it's opening range, right? Initial balance.
Of course. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah. Once, but still, I mean, it's sellers are in charge still. End of story. So, in any event, other than that, folks, you see the scoreboard here. The main other thing that I'm really, really interested in is that 10-year yield right now. It's up over 2% at 4.414. Anything over that 4.4 level starts ringing warning bells in my head. So we'll spend a lot more time on the Treasury complex tomorrow just to kind of see where it's at in relationship to some of these other markets on this low volume sell-off day or rally day, depending on which markets you're looking at. Having said all that, folks, we're going to sign off NinjaTrader Live. We're going to be back tomorrow, 8 a.m., early in the morning, ready to go. I'm going to get a good night's sleep. I'm going to eat my Cheerios. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and remind everybody the most important message of the day is please be safe out there and be good to each other. See you soon.
Thanks.